Hello my friends and welcome. My name is Debbie Reed. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Kingston, Idaho. And today I am going to show you how to make this card that I designed, and it was asked of me to show step by step how to make this. So this is the card we're going to make today. You're going to be doing a lot of die cutting to make this. The card base is going to be early espresso, and I'm going to walk you through step by step. It involves a lot of die cutting, and with each thing that you have to do with die cutting, this will allow you to make two different cards. They will just be the opposite in color. So you're going to be die cutting. Let me just show you here because I have them all done. So you're going to be die cutting two hearts, one in Rococo Rose and one in Blushing Bride. Then you're going to be cutting two love, and you're going to be cutting them in the opposite colors as well. So in die cutting this, yes, there's a lot of die cutting, but it will allow you to make two cards. They're just going to be the opposite of each other. You're going to take this die from the Ornate die set, and let me just take all my little pieces off here so I can walk you through this. It actually, once you have the pieces die cut, this goes together just effortlessly. Like I said, a lot of die cutting. So you're first going to die cut this piece, and that will give you this look. Okay, but when you cut this, you're going to get the positive and the negative, and you're going to keep both pieces. We're going to keep the positive and the negative together. Then the next step you're going to do is take another die. When you are die cutting a die within a die, you can actually line them up and you can actually cut them together. This die, however, you cannot, because this is a double stitch die and this outer edge is going to make an impression on your die. So you're going to have to cut it separate. So once you've die cut this piece, you're going to lay this one on here where you would like it and die cut it again. And now you're going to end up with the hollowed out piece. And this is what we're looking for. The reason we're doing that is because we're going to be making a grid. So you've got the hollowed out piece and you have your negative piece. We're going to keep them together. Next step is we're going to take the grid die and you're going to cut two of these as well. You're only cutting this middle parameter. So once you cut that out, you're going to also cut it in the two different papers. The designer paper, let me show you this. You're going to cut it in this, and then you're going to also cut it out in the beautiful Rococo Rose foil. The foils are exquisite. So this one is the Blushing Bride. The Rococo Rose, let me grab this real quick, is this gorgeous paper. These foils are just so pretty. So you're going to take and you're going to cut the middle square. You're going to cut two of these, one in the pattern paper and one in the Rococo Rose. Okay, this is where we now get to the fun part. So you've got all your pieces cut, and we're going to bring our brown cardstock back in. You are now going to take, so when you cut the little square grid, you're going to end up with a bunch of the little squares. You're going to save those. So you're going to take the squares. Let's take this apart. I had to put this together because this is the fussy part, because these little squares are a little bit tricky to put in. You're going to glue each corner, and then you're going to put this grid piece on. Okay, where's my little sample piece? Where you're going to take and you're going to glue this grid piece on the back of, let me show you this one. You're going to glue this grid piece on the back of this. And the reason you're just going to glue the little corners is because you're going to have all these pieces taken out of here. And also, let me show you this too real quick. All these pieces are in here. You're going to take your pick tool, hold this in your hand over a little garbage can, and take the back side of it, because you don't want to ruin the foil and it will just pop all your little pieces out. Also, when you are die cutting on foil, you do not want to have your
plate with any scratches on it because it will transfer onto your foil. So if your plate has any die cutting scratches on it, you're going to want to overlay your foil with a piece of paper before you cut it. And also, when you have cut this out, I didn't get to this part too. So when you cut this out, you have this piece that came out. I don't know if I went there or not. I'm getting ahead of myself again. So this piece you can save for something else, or you can use it to cut your love out, which will have this, okay? So save it if you want to use it for something else, or use it to cut your love out since you're doing 2 different cards. This will allow you to cut 2. That leaves 1 to save for a future project if you want. So nothing's really wasted in this whole deal. So back to this. You're going to have this opening. You're going to have all of these pieces taken out of here. You're going to put this on the back side. Why on the back side? Because it looks ridiculous on the front and it covers all of that beautiful detailing of these dots, which I think is so pretty. Okay, so this is on the back side. You've got your negative and your positive, and then you're going to flip this upside down and you're going to put your pieces in. Then you're going to tape it. So like I said, this is going to be a little fussy. This is the only part of this whole thing that's a little bit but once you get it, it's beautiful. Now we're going to glue this down. And with this, we're going to just take our Mono Tombow glue and glue. You don't want it oozing on the outside. So on the outside, I'm just doing these corners and maybe a tiny thin line right there. And that's it. Okay, because everything that's going to go on here is going to pretty much lay this down anyway. I'm going to put this in the center. There you go. That part was the hardest of the whole card, to be honest with you. The die cutting is easy, but putting these together, it was a little bit, it's not that it's hard, it's just that it's a little finicky. Once you get to this part, now you're going to cut, like I said, you have your 2 hearts cut out, 1 in each color. So you're going to take the opposite heart and put it inside when it goes on the card. So we're going to just glue this down. You're just putting a tiny bit of glue. Don't need much because this will stay in place. And put the glue. Okay, that will go on here. And now I apologize because I do not remember what die set this came from, and I looked in the catalog and couldn't find it. So if anybody out there knows what set this came from, put it in the comment below because I apologize. It may be discontinued. So if it is discontinued, there's always something that you can put on your card to give it that detail. So now we're going to just glue this heart into this little lacy one. So you cut 2 of these. You cut 1 in Rococo Rose and 1 in Blushing Bride. Oops, gotta pull this off. There we go. It wasn't on the bottom. Okay, there we have that. Now, I wanted to give this a little more bling, and then that's when I ended up creating this, and I found that it kind of fit pretty decent with this, so I went with it. And once again, I don't know what set it came from, so please, somebody out there, help me. And then we're going to just lightly glue this as well and place this down. And then this is the tricky thing too with the love. So I have the love already cut out. And when you cut the love out, it cuts out the L and then the OVE. I am going to take, let me scoot this out of the way here so I can show you. I'm going to take my silicone mat and I am going to take some tape runner. This way you are not getting glue where you don't want it. So you're going to just put this in the adhesive. And again, it doesn't need to be massively on there. I'm going to flip this upside down because I'm not ready yet.
Then I'm going to take my excess glue that's still on the silicone mat, and place this on there, and oops, this one did get more glue on there than I wanted, but it's okay, it wipes off. And this way, doing it like this, it just lays down nice, and I'll show you how you're going to clean this off. Bring the card back. We're going to lay the love on here, and we're going to take our, and we're going to place these. I hope my arm's not in the way when I do this, so sorry. But I'm just positioning where I want this. And then just lay this down. Now, when you get some of this sticky on here, you can sometimes take your finger. What I do is I take a clean rag and just wipe it. And that gets all of the extra sticky off of the copper. And sometimes you have to just, you know, rub it a little bit harder. I'm not going to sit and spend time doing this either, because I'll do this later. But now that's adhered. Okay, now the only thing we need is to adhere with our glue dot the ribbon. And that is it. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love this. Thank you so, so much for watching. Have a great, wonderful day. I hope you like the card. I hope you will give it a try. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Bye.